I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good day, Jabriel Ballentine. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful day?
Oh, it's a beautiful day. Thanks be to God. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm excellent, actually. Great pleasure to connect with you right now. Super great pleasure. I told you just at the beginning, right? Like when you said my name, you sounded like my brother, right?
Right. That means we're off to a great start, a great sense of rapport already.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, what part of the world are you in right now?
I am in Orlando. I live in Orlando, Florida, but I'm a Virgin Islander, St. Thomas Virgin Islands.
Yeah, we can hear the Caribbean on your voice, on the tip of that tongue, just a bit.
Yeah, and your accent helps. It's funny when I get around my people, it comes out more.
Yes, I can well imagine. I know what you're speaking about. I do. But Jabriel, do tell us which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time.
Oh man, just connecting with people, public speaking. I'm a personal pastor, public theologian. So that's like social commentary through a theological lens. I'm a priest in the Anglican Episcopal Church. And so I do a couple podcasts on racial empowerment and racial reconciliation, and of course preach the word on a regular basis.
Wow, tell us the name of the podcast, please.
Two podcasts, one Blacks with Power, the other Racial Heresy. So Blacks with Power is on Black empowerment, Racial Heresy is on racial reconciliation, and then Jabriels.com you can find my sermons.
Wonderful. Would you be able to find your other podcast on Jabriel as well?
Yes, you can.
Wonderful.
You can connect with them. You go to Jabriels.com/about, and there's links to everything that I do.
So it's supposed to be Father Jabriel then?
Yeah, but that's when people feel like I'm a father to them,
Yeah. Well, that's great. So who did you learn the skill of what you do via the podcast in terms of the racial side of things that you bring to light?
Oh man, that's been a passion of mine ever since I moved to the mainland. We call them the big continental US, the mainland, right? So when I came from the Virgin Islands, which was 98% Black, and I was a child of privilege. My father was a chief deputy U.S. Marshal, mother was an attorney general, uncle was a governor's chief of staff, so on and so forth. And then moved to the States, where I became a nobody, like instantly, overnight. And that troubled me. And I had a lot of difficulty reconciling with that, fell into depression and things of that nature. It wasn't until I transferred schools, I actually got put out of my first college and ended up at a small Black school, Bowie State University in Bowie, Maryland, and connected with my roommate there. My roommate had a Message to the People, The Course of African Philosophy, a book by Marcus Messiah Garvey. And Marcus Garvey changed my world, and just gave me this passion for racial empowerment, racial reconciliation that was deepened by my connection to Rastafarianism and ultimately to the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. So those things kind of fueled that passion.
Wow, you've been a busy guy. Like, you read a ton, don't you?
Yeah, indeed. And I've been on a hiatus for a little while, but finally getting back into delving into some of these old school books on sociology and theology and those things that really excite me.
That's wonderful. So you've been here for a while, you've gotten the rest, and you're going to start off again. Why will you continue to repeat the skills that are necessary for sharing your message?
I mean, you look at where we are as a society, Angel, and you see that something's got to give, right? I mean, there's so much hate, there's so much discord, there's so much disunity. I mean, we have to find a way as human beings to be better humanity, to be a better humanity. And, I've just kind of settled into that calling that the Lord has given me to be a part of that move towards becoming beloved community.
Jabriel, do share with us one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
Be a husband and a father. That's my biggest goal in life. I tell people, I want to be known. If anything is said at my funeral or anything, I want to be known as a good husband and a good father. So, I have a son who's 13. and now have a baby girl who's turning 1 in a couple weeks.
Wow,
So quite a gap,
wow.
which shows you so much about fatherhood. I tell people I'm schizophrenic in my fatherhood because you have to be a completely different father to a 13-year-old as you are to a
1-year-old.
right? And so my wife and I are enjoying that aspect. So yeah, that's, consistently day in, day out, learning to love better, learning to walk better as a husband, as a father.
How does it make you feel?
Oh man, I mean, it's a humbling experience. It's an awesome, humbling, frightening. It's the range of emotions, it's like where we get to share in creation. We make love on the daily. We raise life on the daily, and it's an awe-inspiring, humbling type experience.
Yeah. Having children definitely has opened up my eyes to so many things. Even with what's going on right now with artificial intelligence and the run, if you would, to create robots and what they represent. I just find it so fascinating to see a child and have the ability to create a child through them being born through a woman, right? And see that, like, just to see the thinking and the growing. It's really been a fascinating run seeing my boys grow. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, from birth, I tell people, it's like it's the most beautiful ugly thing that you've ever seen. Like a child coming into this world, right? And it is.
It is. Yeah, it definitely is. Well, my friend. Let's see, where should I go? Suggest to someone that's listening why they should do what you've done.
Because we should all want to, walk worthy of our calling. We should all want to enter into the promised land. That's my mantra. If you go to Jabriel.com, you'll see the tagline, Journey to the Promised Land. Everything in life is about making our way to the promised land. And how do we live in accordance with whatever is going to take us there to that promised land? I mean, that's something that even if you're not a priest, even if you're not clergy, wherever vocation you're in, that we should all want to, however we live this life, that we lay down knowing that we're going into the kingdom.
Amazing audience, you're hearing it live here from Jabriel Ballentine. Again, he's the podcast host of By Two Podcasts, Blacks with Power and Racial Heresy. Again, you can connect with him on jabred.com. Jabriel, let's switch gears for a moment now and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water.
That's a beautiful thing.
Jabriel, what is your earliest childhood memory?
I mean, as soon as you triggered that, right? I mean, I think about the beach, and I think about going to the beach with one of my favorite cousins who's now a musician, singer, Verse Simmons. We grew up like brothers and we were always together and would spend a lot of time on the beach and learn to swim together, running through our grandmother's yard, really bush. But going up and down the hill. I had 14 first cousins.
Wow.
And when we would all get together, we'd be like, man, we're going on an adventure. And we would go up and down her hill, getting lost in the woods. And those are some of the earliest childhood memories that just bring back the simple joys of life,
Yeah. Why do you think it's so clear, and how do you see it connecting to who you are today?
I love simplicity. I am still a beach person. Like, that's where I get my vibes. That's where I get my energy. That's where I recharge. Every now and again, I have to retreat to the beach just to get my bearings, So it was very formative. It's something, that simple existence that reminds us of how simple things are, how small we are in the course of things. It serves still to this day to ground me, to reorient me, to not take life so seriously. And to just, find that joy and find the bliss of life again.
Well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, it's a one sentence, and it's really simple. Just the power of brotherhood.
Amen. Yeah. That is it, Angela. And that's why I said the rapport that was created just because, I by chance pronounced your name the way your brother
exactly to the beginning, right?
And it's like brotherhood, the power of brotherhood when we find those connections with one another, just how things really take off,
Yeah, most definitely. Well, my friend, if we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Favorite song when I was 12? I was probably listening to NWA at that time. I was an oddball in the Virgin Islands. I listened to hip hop. Right. So it was probably some NWA or some Wu-Tang because those were my favorite groups.
Yeah. You have a Wu-Tang finish, though, I'll tell you, right? There's the method man in you, right?
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Exactly. So more than likely, it was something NWA or Wu-Tang that was going through my mind at the time.
All right, my friend. Well, we've arrived at our destination, Jabriel, but before we get off of this time machine, there is a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
Sure, yes.
Jabriel, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes.
Are you married?
Yes.
Do you have children?
Yes.
Do you believe in God?
Yes.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
Yes.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8?
Man. Yes.
Jabriel, if you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Jabriel Ballentine, what would you say that is?
Pursue daily the kingdom of God.
Love it. Jabriel, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Yes, you all. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you for supporting Angel's work. Man, I appreciate going through this with you, and I know that it is impactful for your listeners. So I urge you and implore you to continue on, brother, revealing the lives and passions of others so that others may find their own passion.
I appreciate that tremendously. Jabriel Ballentine, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you, Angel. I appreciate you.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.